Are live here for the second day of the interviews for Pirate Booty Camp 2. We've got 3, maybe 4 for you today. We're going to give it just a couple of minutes for Susan to get those links up and maybe get a viewer or two to pop in here. And then we will get started. We've got Craig first, who was our runner-up in Pirate Booty Camp Season 2. So we will be starting with Craig here in about 2 minutes.
All right, you're good.
Perfect. We're going to wait to see if we get a viewer or two pop in, and we'll start at about 2 minutes for those that might be tuning in.
Yeah, I know a lot asked me to send them the link afterwards so they can watch it later.
We want to apologize for starting much later. I had something come up, and then Google Hangouts decided to be a pain in our ass tonight.
Andrew broke a nail, and he freaked out about it, so I had to soothe him for an hour.
If you ever want Susan to stress out, try to get her to create a Google Hangout.
Oh my God, that's how
she won't be
spoiled
able
I
to.
am. I had no idea how to do it. Andrew handles this, and I'm just the secretary.
It all works out in the end. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started here, and hopefully we'll get some people that will pop on. As always, I am Andrew Gibson with my very best awesome Mama Eskimosa, and we are covering Pirate Booty Camp Season 2. Again, I wasn't at the game for those that didn't watch yesterday, but we're going to just kind of help dive in and kind of try to figure out some pieces of what happened. Yesterday we met with Pete and Kirk and Dustin and Cody and Susan and got into some real good game talk there. And today we're going to be covering a little bit more so the early boots. But first we are with our second place winner, Craig. So our second place winner, I'm sorry, I guess second place loser, the first loser, not the second place.
No, he's a second place winner. He should actually be first place. Sorry, Kirk.
You didn't say that yesterday. You're a floater. So let's get into it. Craig, why don't we start with letting you just introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? Why Pirate Booty Camp? And kind of what it meant to you.
Well, I'm Craig from Maryland, and I just really like playing the game, so I went out and played the game.
Absolutely. Craig already warned me that his answers would be short because he doesn't talk much. But with very little talking, he was still able to get second place, which is a feat. Let's get into what was the hardest part of Pirate Booty Camp? Like, not even from maybe a social standpoint, but you're isolated. What comforts did you miss? Did you miss anything? Are you a camper? Like, what was the hardest part of this experience for you?
I mean, I'm not really a camper or anything, but I enjoy going out there and doing these kind of things. The hardest part was probably the heat. It was just so hot that week that it really took a toll on you.
See, I think I would be pretty good with the heat because I'm down here in Texas where it's like felt like 104 today, so I'm used to the heat, and so that's something that I don't think would bother me as much.
No food and well water.
Yeah.
But with somebody from like a Maryland or a Chicago that's used to a little bit of a cooler setting, or
well, I mean, it's
oh, my puppy wants
not often very cool here either, but I get to go inside and enjoy some AC, but not when you're out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what was something that you came that now? Is this your first time to play a live game, or have you played one before?
I was a returning player, so I played last year also.
Okay, and how did you do last season?
I don't remember exactly. It was 8th or so, somewhere around there.
It was 8th.
Okay, so you definitely improved on your progress, which is good,
Right.
and got better, which is, I mean, that's all you can ask for in playing games like this, is to learn from your mistakes and what you did different or wrong last time and get better at it. So what came easier for you this time then? What did you, something that was maybe harder for you last season, but this season, because you knew about it and you were prepared for it, it was easier?
Well, a couple of things. Last season, I focused on winning the challenges all the time, like right off the bat, and it ended up putting a really big target on me. So as soon as I lost one, I got voted out before. And then this year, I decided to not quite do that until later on. So I focused more on getting other people who are good at challenges voted out before that, so that then I could go win them myself. Another thing was it was a lot easier to go and talk to people after I've done it before, knowing that everyone's going to be talking behind everyone's back. So it's just something you get used to.
Yeah, and you've played orgs also, so what's the differences between playing a live game and playing an online game? Besides obvious the being face-to-face, like, is it easier, is it harder? Because, I mean, I would think it would be a catch-22 almost, because yes, it's harder because you have these conditions and you can't escape, but I also think it would be easier to maybe read people in a face-to-face live situation because you're getting full body language, you're not just stuck behind a keyboard. So what are, like, some of the pros and cons of playing an online game versus a live game?
Yeah, I think you've got it right there, where it's you get to actually see the people and kind of read them, where instead of just trying to see what they type and say if they're lying, you get to actually look at them and see if they're trying to lie to you. And it's a lot more fun because you can focus entirely on the game. You don't have to go do other stuff. You're like all day for the next few days is just the game. There's nothing else you have to worry about.
If anybody has questions for Craig, you can PM me or Susan Camosa on Facebook, or you can comment on our live stream that we have going on in the Reality Rules page. But first, we're going to go ahead and get to some questions from Craig that were submitted by people that you played with. The first question I have is from Pete. Why do you think it is you two just didn't click? Was it something about him, or did you just not think socializing with everyone was that important?
Well, I didn't really think that me and Pete didn't click all that well. I thought he was a nice guy. I know we didn't really get a chance to talk too much, but we weren't really on the same tribe until Merge, and there was a lot of people to talk to at that point, so it just didn't really come up, I guess.
So Pete obviously, based on this question, thinks you didn't click. It's a kind of a perception versus reality. Do you think just because you maybe didn't get to have that one-on-one conversation with Pete, that he is perceiving it in that way?
That might be it. And then also, I tried not to play too hard on a social game where I would just go immediately talk and try to talk game with everybody or just try to be friends with everyone too quickly. I kind of waited to see how things played out before doing things like that.
And it's interesting in these kind of games because I kind of try to think the same way, like, why build a connection with somebody that I know I'm going to have to cut in 1 or 2 rounds because that's just going to be a bitter freaking jerk, Exactly. So why befriend someone so much?
Right. It's kind of like, did he want me to stab him in the back or what? Because honestly, I was more honest with Pete than almost anybody else in this game.
That seemed to be the theme of people. Like a couple people were focused more on, why didn't you get to know me? Can you name 3 facts about me? I mean, Craig, I'll give him this. Craig didn't have time to lay around. Craig was like with Kirk, the fireman. They made sure we always had fire. They made sure we always had logs. They were the ones doing majority of the work. Like, we knew it was going to rain. The other team came and, like, plundered our stuff. So Craig right away knew, okay, well, we need to make sure we don't get wet. He took the sleeping bag and made it a wall and figured out how to work. So, I mean, unfortunately, Craig didn't have the option to just lay under the shelter and gossip all day.
Right. And then also, I think the social game for me was less about learning the random facts that didn't really matter too much to me and more about making sure that I wasn't getting voted out.
Absolutely. Okay, the second question I have here seems to be from several people. Give me your take on the pre-made rumors. Cody, Kirk, and I basically responded the same, so they want you to know what you felt about the rumors of you being involved in this big org pre-made alliance.
There really wasn't much of a pre-made thing, as a few people had talked to each other. For me, the only pre-mades I had, I think, was I had talked to Susan and Cody on the ride up, and it was basically, hey, we should work together. And other than that, I had talked to Michael Breidenhagen, and it was basically the same thing. It was like, hey, we should work together. And everybody really had the chance to do that because everyone arrived a day before the game. And then even still, the people who I had talked about doing these things with, like Michael, was maybe one of the biggest pre-game alliances I had. But I had to vote him out almost as soon as we were on the same tribe. So I really didn't let that affect the game at all.
And I've heard the rumor since we've been doing these interviews of a lot of org pre-made alliances, but it obviously wasn't an org pre-made alliance because there was a lot of org people that weren't in this pre-made, like Michael, Baxter, Michael Canfield, Brian Griffin. These are all very big prominent orgers that I know you have both played with, and right. So this obviously wasn't an org pre-made, or it would have been half the freaking cast.
Right, and then half the cast was returning players anyway, who knew each other and could talk if they wanted to. And I had
Yeah.
something else to say, but I can't remember it now.
Okay, the next question is from Tristan. When Tristan and Pete came back into the game, why didn't you try and make big moves and use them to take out your alliance? Were you just that confident in your pecking order?
I guess I was pretty confident in in our group of four, and I mean we did kind of use them to take out the other four, and it was just that they didn't bother to try to do anything before it was too late to get us out. They just kind of did what we said, and so. I mean, it might not have been a big move to them because they ended up suffering in the end, but it was a big move for us because we profited from it.
Absolutely. All right, my fourth question is from Chris. Do you think it would have been? Do you think you would have answered? Do you think if you would have answered?
I know you guys should listen to my writing. So like it's about his
Do you
question.
think
Like
you would have answered better if you won? Why would you take a social guy like Kirk if you weren't a talker? Why wouldn't you cut your alliance and take Chris or Pete?
Well, I wouldn't cut my alliance because I feel like I would have lost 3 votes at the end right then and there. And then why would I risk taking those two to the end so that they could just win at the end and cut me out, and then those two would be at the end? It seemed like no real point in doing that to me. Regarding with taking Kirk to the end, I had been working with Kirk from almost the very beginning of the game, so we had had a deal from way back that we would take each other to the end.
Okay, this one is from Susan. I don't know if you watched the interview, but how do you feel about Kirk saying that if Chris would have won at Final Five, he would have gotten you to be the one to be voted out? And she said, I would never.
No, I didn't hear that, but I guess I was more confident in what was going on than I should have been if he was actually trying to get me out. But at the same time, the reason that we voted Pete out, in my opinion, was because he was a bigger threat to win in that situation than Chris was. So by then, I had felt like I had a pretty good shot at winning a lot of the challenges from then on out because I had worked on getting out the people who were going to be that threat. And so part of it was not even letting Kirk have that chance, which I succeeded in, I feel like.
Okay, so the next question is: being a two-time player, did you ever feel that being a two-time player put a bigger target on your back?
Yeah, I definitely felt that everyone who was a returning player had a bigger target on their back. And I noticed early on that Kirk ended up being an even bigger target than me, which was part of why I spent a lot of the game trying to keep Kirk in so that everyone would be after him instead of me.
Do you think you would have made it to the final two had you not won the final three competition?
At the time, I think so, but now hearing that Kirk was trying to vote me out at 5, maybe not so much.
And then my last question, this is something that everybody has kind of wanted to know. Let's say you didn't make the final two, and let's say the final twos were different, and you were on the jury. How would you have cast your vote in these three situations? How would you have voted if it was Susan and Cody in the final two?
I probably would have voted Susan over Cody and Kirk. And that's because, I know that me and Susan spent a lot of time working together, so I don't think a lot of the people in the game realized how much me and her really.
Craig and I knew every vote going in. We knew not to tell Kirk and Cody anything because they were the crazy crack. And
right.
I mean, at one round we just sat around and we told people, "Can you send the next person to talk to us?" Because it was hot and we didn't want to get up.
Yeah, I don't think we really got surprised at all by any of the votes. We had a pretty good idea of what was going on, and neither of us really got any votes throughout the entire game until like the very end.
So you vote for Susan in those two situations, but who do you vote for if it's Cody Kirk?
That'd be a tougher call. I'd probably give it to Kirk, I guess. I think.
See, in the other two situations, I would have voted for anybody but Susan. And then in the Kirk Cody situation, it would have been tougher for me.
Really?
Hey, I busted my ass out there.
I'm just kidding. I don't know what happened in the game. I'm just trying to pull shit with Susan.
Hey,
That's
All right,
Hornet
awesome. Well,
saved
that's the
me, and I
questions.
still struggled on.
That's the questions I have for you, Cody. Do you have any kind of final words? Anything you want to say about Pirate Booty Camp? Anything for you to kind of just relive on?
Not that I can think of right now.
Awesome. All right. Well, again, congratulations for getting second place in a live game like that. That's nothing to hang your head on. And we appreciate you for coming on and being here with us tonight.
Yeah, I'm definitely proud of where I got to. Whether or not the jury can see what I did, I know that I did very well.
And it was a 4-3 vote, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like you lost in a landslide.
Right.
So awesome. Well, thank you again, Cody, for being here, and we look forward to seeing what is next in the future. Craig, I'm sorry. Oops. This is what happens when I don't see episodes.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't know
Craig.
you guys by now. Oh, wait, I have a question for Craig. Don't leave yet. I forgot. I have your special question. So whether it be inside or outside of the game, what was your favorite part about the entire week?
I wonder who asked that one. Let's see. I think it would have to be meeting different people.
I don't know if that's the answer she wanted, Craig, but that's the answer she got.
No, I don't know.
All right, Craig, hold on. Let me just make sure.
Knows.
Huh?
Oh, Brandon Harris
Harris
wants to know. BJ wants to know what your favorite challenge of the game was.
My favorite challenge of the game? The cue ball stacking was the best game, I think.
That was fun.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you again, Craig, and we hope to hear from you soon.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Stacy on. I don't know if she's clicking or she's seen the message. Huh. She has seen the message, but I don't know if she's here.
All right, well, we are waiting for our next person to come in.
Stacy might have fallen asleep. No, here she is. Okay, she's installing the plugin, so she will be on shortly. You know how that goes.
Tell her if she does it in a Google Chrome, she doesn't have to install the plugin.
Oh, maybe that's why I've been having problems. I haven't updated back to Chrome yet. So I guess we can talk while Stacy, she's getting her stuff together. She's trying it now.
And is that going to be our last one, or have we confirmed the other two yet?
No, the other two are not responding to me either. I mean, it's 10. They said they'd be
Brian
on.
and Michael, this is going to be your last warning because if you don't, once we're done with Stacy, if you don't, we're going to move on and we can maybe squeeze you into Mado. And we already have questions for Stacy coming up, so if you have any, get them out there.
Yeah, that was the biggest talk going through the game was like the pre-made, but I don't think it's as bad as people make it sound.
Shout out to Brandon Harris because he only tagged Susan Camosa in the question, so this is a really good fuck you.
They know who's boss.
To Brandon Harris. Brandon Harris, I'm still mad at you for me asking you to help you last night and then you ignoring me. So this is a really big, old, good one to Brandon Harris.
No, Brendan, BJ was so good. My first day out there, I decided to sit in the fire pit and watch Cody and Stacy make fire because they knew how and I didn't. And I don't know what a hornet's nest looked like, and I kicked one. So I have now red dots all over my leg.
But, okay, don't compliment Brandon. There's nothing good about that kid.
He got me some Benadryl when I needed it most.
No, me and Brandon go pretty far back. We're pretty good friends.
He was amazing out there. He was a great part of production. It's going to be great to talk to him and Jordan tomorrow because they both played last year and they hosted this year, so they got to see both sides going down. This is why I should have gone first, so I did not have. Yeah, Canfield's not responding either. Okay, she's got Chrome going in now because the plugin did not want to work. So we can talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to have Will and Brian W. and production.
And is that our last, or are we going on Wednesday?
I'm waiting for a response on Tristan and Canfield would be the last of them, but
awesome.
Maybe Canfield will respond to you by then. I'm not sure.
Oh no, Brandon mentioned me a comment. Okay, here they are, and he finally tagged me both. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, she's still trying to get on. She's like, this is why I wish I would have went earlier so I could have practiced. But I feel her. I didn't even know how to make the link earlier. So come on, Andrew. Doesn't this all sound like fun? Everybody being crazy? You got to arrange it somehow.
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, here we go.
Did you send me questions?
I will do that right now. Is she on? Stacy, is that you?
Fuck you, Brandon Harris.
What did he say now?
And he said, Andrew Gibson, will you play Pirate Booty Camp 3 and be first food?
Oh, Michael.
That I'd love
Michael
to
B
see.
is coming on tomorrow. I forgot all about Michael B. He is doing tomorrow, too.
I love Michael B.
Oh, I love Michael B. too. It was great almost playing with him. And he was so good. Like, when he got voted out, he took it in pride. He wasn't. I mean, everybody for the most part did. Stacy, if that's you, I think you're on mute now.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now. Yay!
I can.
Yay!
Awesome. I've been so excited to talk to Stacy because Stacy's also playing, and we don't know how she ends up in the other game we're covering right now, Real Foot. Get the episodes up. Get the episodes up. Get the episodes up.
Yeah, I think
But,
that's like what,
so I'm really
October?
excited about this and to be able to interview you. So why don't we start by introducing yourself and kind of who you are, where you're from, a little bit about you.
Well, I'm Stacy. I'm from Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, and I have a small hippo obsession.
You have a what?
A small hippo obsession.
Oh, yes,
I
she's
thought-
obsessed with
I
hippos.
thought
Remember
that's
when
what
we
you
talked
said.
about why it said hippo enthusiast in Real Foot?
I thought that's what you said, but I didn't realize that you had a small hippo obsession. So by meaning you have a small hippo obsession, you have a obsession with small hippos or a small obsession for hippos?
Small obsession for hippos that's really not that small of an obsession.
Oh, okay. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so let's get into this game a little bit. Obviously, you're a veteran to this. This is, I know you didn't play Pirate Booty Camp Season 1, but you played Real Foot. Have you played any other games besides those?
Yes. I have played Survivor Ohio Erie, Survivor Ohio Severed Ties, and Darwin.
Okay, so you're a veteran. You've played these games before. What
Yes.
difference did you think you got out of Pirate Booty Camp? Or what was the main difference in this game from other games that you played?
I can't say there really was one. I mean, I've played a game where it's been returnees versus newbies in the beginning, and then tribe swap and all that kind of thing. So I've played a game where they've done that. I played a game that had the coins involved, because Darwin did that, where we'd find coins all over the place. And voting in tribal council, that's kind of par for the course in any game.
Absolutely, it is, and I was sad to hear that you were in early mood because I enjoy watching you play. You're somebody that takes the game very, very seriously, and you love what you do, and you put your heart and soul in it. So that's always something that's really, really fun to watch. What was the hardest part of Pirate Booty Camp for you?
I know this is going to be really horrible to say, but I didn't really find, well, the mosquitoes. Okay, the mosquitoes were hard. I came home with 346 mosquito bites.
And all mostly on her ass.
Really count every one of these.
Yes, I used a red permanent marker to count them so that I wouldn't double count, so I looked like I was diseased at work the next day.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Okay, so the mosquito bites were this hard part. So that's from a physical aspect. What do you think socially was the hardest about this game for you?
Well, and this is what it's going to be really horrible to say, but I never really played this. I mean, I didn't play this game, like play. I was there. I didn't make any deals with a single soul. I just I mean, I just wanted to have a good time with this one and not get all stressed out and crazy. And I know that's,
So for you, it was just more about the experience and not the placement.
yeah. And when I left, I mean, I was ready to go. So, you
And
know,
Stacy was cool when she left. I'll have you know, she left us her rice because the other team stole ours, so we would have starved. And she also left us her luxury item, which was gum, which we appreciated every morning.
So then Stacey, what's the why come out and travel all this way and do all of this if you were just going out to just kind of be voted out?
I've had a rough year personally, and it's just going to kind of keep getting rough until my mother passed away and everything's in probate, and that's all a disaster area with family fighting over things, and it's crazy. And I just really wanted a week to just go and meet new people and hang out and not have to have my phone and worry about any of that stuff. So that's
So
why.
it was more vacation than game.
Absolutely, yes. I would like to play. I would like to play again with when all of this crap in my personal life is done. Oh, and I had a car accident the Wednesday before I was supposed to leave. My car was totaled. So I mean, I was a bit of a disaster area.
And you know, you're one of the people that being a veteran in these games, it's just as enjoyable for you to be out there and watch
That's a question we
as it
have for
is to actually
Stacy.
play the game.
Because she's a veteran of the game, she's played so many games, she was in a real, but were you a little let down when you were put on the newbie tribe after having like so much experience just because you weren't in pirate booty camp?
No, I wouldn't have cared whatever tribe I was on because there were people that I didn't know on each tribe, and I really like talking to people and meeting new people. I mean, I've had some great friends through these games. I met Rebecca through these games, through live games, not through orgs. Same with Travis. I met him through live games and not through orgs. And Corey through live games.
And
So,
Stacy and
So
I
you
got
have
along
played
great. We
some
found it really
orgs.
funny that we weren't Facebook friends when we got home.
Wait, so Stacey, you have played orgs before then?
yes, but I like Kirk, I played orgs after a live game. So I
Okay.
started with live, and it was after my second live game that Corey had told me about orgs. And I played for about a year, and I really haven't played since. So,
Awesome. I was saying because I've been in the community for
Brandon
10 years
Harris
and I
wants to
didn't.
know when we switched up tribes and Kirk, picked us. Did you have any one person you could tell everything to, or do you just kind of go with the flow?
I felt like it was just kind of going with the flow. I mean, I did tell, well, I kind of told everybody everything, except for maybe Evan and Shiley. I didn't really talk to Shiley.
Also from Brandon Harris, he said, first off, Stacey, I love you.
Thanks, Brandon.
And he said, second, do you regret to mutiny when you had the chance? And if you did, who would you have worked with on Calypso?
I don't regret not mutinying. I mean, I thought about it because I knew that Cody, Susan, and Craig were really tight. I didn't realize Kirk was a part of that, but I knew Kirk had the idol. So, I mean, I knew that I was going to be next to go home if we lost that challenge anyway. Like, I logically, doing the math. So, I was happy where I was, and I just didn't really feel it. I didn't really want to get stressed out. So that's why I didn't mutiny. Had I mutinied, I have no clue who I would have worked with on the other side because there were still people that I hadn't had any interaction with.
Right.
I know.
BJ also wants to know
critical
what
the
your
game-
favorite challenge was.
My favorite challenge. It was the one where we were all locked together because we rocked at that.
Because it was the first one we won.
Yeah, but we.
Stacy and I got stuck when we were like doing rewards all day one. We won 1 out of the 4 challenges, and when we became a tribe, our tribe didn't win any challenge until it was the last 4. Oh no, they won, and then when it was the last 4 of us.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to Stacey, your luxury item being gum. I mean, why gum? I mean, is there? I can kind of think of reasonings that it would be, but I want to hear from you. I mean, you've been playing these for a while. You knew what you needed. Why gum for a luxury item?
Well, number one, if you take a toothbrush, you don't get the toothpaste. It's an either-or situation. So, I mean, gum, you pop that in, and I bring the 60-pack car gum, like the giant 60-pack, so I can share it with other people. People like having me there. They're getting their gum in the morning. So nobody's like worried about getting all up in each other's face trying to strategize, like, hold on, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk and breathe on you. Everybody's got gum. It's wonderful.
No, and that's what I was thinking when you said gum, and I was like, that's genius. I would have never thought of that.
Well, if you watch the other thing that's currently got episodes and stuff, you'll notice me chewing gum a lot in that one as well.
And no, now that you say that, I do. And it clicks to me about that. So that's interesting. Let's go to when you left. Who are you cheering for?
Kirk.
Okay, so you cheered for the winner.
We thought he was the underdog. In fact, all of the votees that have been voted out, when we found out that they were going to go back in, we were like, okay, you have to hook up and work with Kirk and Brian W., who left, with an emergency, and oh gosh, there was another person that they were supposed to hook up with, and I don't remember who that person was. Oh well,
Not Susan. Nobody should work with Susan.
Well, we thought it was Susan, Cody and Craig, and then it was Baxter, Michael. Oh, that was they were supposed to hook up with Canfield. Sorry. So yeah, they were supposed to hook up with Canfield, Kirk, and Brian W. to make it a 3-3-3 group thing. And then when 2 people went in, we were like, sweet, they're golden. It'll be 4 of them. And then, Brian left. And so then it was the 3-3-3. But we had no clue that Kirk was really working with a group of 3 other people already. So, yeah, they were able to use them because that was the plan. For whoever was going back in, that's what they were supposed to do.
That's awesome. A question we've got from a lot of people, and I want to be careful on this subject because the other game is still in production and episodes are still coming out. But they want you to compare the differences between Pirate Booty Camp and Survivor Real Foot.
Well, Pirate Booty Camp, we got to sleep in a sleeping bag. That was nice. You don't get to do that in Real Foot. You're on dirt.
Well, we had a nice night out there with the coins and stuff. Andrew, she had an auction, and we were able to get. Susan was stealing coins. Susan even stole some that belonged to Stacy that Pete gave to everybody. So Susan was really greedy, and Susan was a pirate, and now I have a bag full of coins and nothing to do with. And by the way, to Pete, because I know you're listening, I did not steal from production. I stole from you, I stole from Calypso, and I stole from other tribe members. But Stacy and I got a shower out of the deal.
Heck yeah!
That's awesome. All right, well, Stacy, hey, we appreciate you coming on. Do you have any final words, anything you want to talk about for your experience with Pirate Booty Camp?
No, it was a good time. I'm really glad I went. It was definitely a good stress reliever. And like I said, I hope to play again when I can actually play.
I hope to be there for that moment. Turns out I like Stacy. Me and her laughed about the whole slide. Me and Stacy actually got to do a slider puzzle, and she was amazing, so she made up for the redemption when we made fun of her in Real Foot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was explained a little too, but that'll be a little later.
We will hopefully be talking to you later rather than sooner whenever you're eliminated from Survivor.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions there for you.
I can promise you your Real Foot interview will be a lot longer than this one.
Okay.
But Stacey, it was a pleasure to finally get to talk to you, and I hope we get to talk to you again soon.
All right, and then you guys will have to tell me how the hell I make the camera work. In the meantime.
Yeah, we'll next time I'll bring you on before we go live, and we can test that.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Stacey.
Bye.
Love her. Bye. Awesome. Do we have anybody else coming on?
No, Canfield has not responded to me, and I have everybody else set up for tomorrow, and we might just have one Wednesday if Tristan cannot make it.
That should be okay. We'll just have to see times with what I've got going on and some other stuff.
Yeah. I know. I'm not in any games right now, so.
Okay, so what time are we starting tomorrow, Susan?
Okay, so tomorrow, 7 o'clock EST. It'll run quick. We have Chris, Michael B, Brian W, Will, he's a sweetheart. I love him. And production is coming on as a whole. BJ, Rebecca, Jordan, and we're trying to get to see if Jessica could come on because even though she wasn't there all week, she was still there. And we really want to hear production and picks of players.
As soon as BJ gets on this call, I'm ejecting his ass quicker than lightning.
But they're amazing. I can't wait to talk to production.
Awesome. So that sounds good. So we've got a loaded day for y'all tomorrow, several interviews, and then we're going to get the production's take on some things and some sides as we wrap up Pirate Booty Camp Season 2. So as always, stay real, stay reality, and try not to get voted out. We'll see you tomorrow.